We are right on time. 6:05 sharp. All right, ready to go.
Really, Dad?
All right, let's go.
All right. Hello.
All right. Wow, thank you. This is a special live stream episode.
Shorter than usual.
What's shorter than usual?
May.
You feel short? Oh, you know what? Maybe your cushion is missing.
Dad!
Well, I think. Oh, I was supposed to say that. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
I wanted people to think I was 6'2", man.
Yeah. Okay. Right. You were the same height. Yeah. Pretty much.
Oh, wait.
Right. So
now I'm 6'2".
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. This is a special live stream. We did miss Thursday talking about episode 11, so we were here. Keith, how are you feeling?
Chipper.
Okay. All right. You look and sound better. You're well rested, from your LA trip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. So,
not like a zombie.
Good. Very good. Very good. Thank you very much. If you are joining us for the first time, this is Father.son.Galaxy. I am Kerwin. This is Keith. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. But we're glad to have you. Okay. We are here to talk about episode 11.
Metamorphosis.
Yes. The Bad Batch. Okay. All right. Here we go.
What's with you?
No, I mean, just, I'm excited to be here. This is a Sunday afternoon, and we're not usually here on a Sunday. So, just...
I got to catch The Simpsons at 8.
Yeah, okay.
But I got 2 hours between that, so let's chat.
All right, let's go. All right, so let's talk about this episode. And this episode ties into a previous episode from the Clone Wars, right?
Yes.
So if we're going to talk about, all right, let's just set it up. We see this transport in space. It's on fire, and it's going down in flames, right? It seems like everyone on board is gone.
Yeah.
There's no one there.
Taken.
Right. And I think there was one.
Yeah, there was this clone trooper. The opening is a clone running.
Running. For his life. Yes. Right. Running.
Holding on for dear life.
Right. And because there was something chasing it, we're going to talk about what that is. Let's do that right now. So we have this beast called a Zillo beast. All right.
Yes.
And this goes back to season 2, episodes 18 and 19 of the Clone Wars. So in order to know what this beast is, why it's there, we need to know backstory. I love backstory.
So do I.
All right.
Like, don't you just love tie-ins?
Yes, I do. Yes. Star Wars is very good for that. So, all right. All right. So the Zillo beast. So let's talk about that episode. So it's 2 episodes, right? The first one is episode 18 called the Zillo Beast. So there's a battle going on the planet Malastare. All right. So apparently the Republic needs...
That is the home planet of the Dugs.
Of the Dugs, right? The
Sebulba species.
Exactly, right. So the Republic needs to have a treaty signed by the Dugs because the Dugs have resources, fuel resources.
The fuel that the Republic needs to power their fleet.
To power their fleet, right? To continue the war. So Palpatine, Supreme Chancellor, comes up with an idea of actually trying to wipe out the droid army by dropping this electric photon bomb, something like that. Right?
I don't know what it was, but it broke the sound barrier.
Right. Look, that was his idea, to wipe them out quickly and easy. So that's what happens.
It was also at the Dugs' command.
Yeah, at the
They're
Dugs.
the ones who requested them to drop a nuclear bomb,
which is very interesting, on their own planet surface. Okay, so that's exactly what happens. This bomb drops. The droid army is wiped clean, but it actually causes a crack.
Fresh.
It actually causes a crack.
That makes no sense.
It actually causes a crack in the surface, right?
Yes,
and then a sinkhole, right? And then out of the sinkhole comes the Zillo beast.
Yes.
All right.
And
so
these Dugs people, they knew about this. They knew that the Zillo beast dug into the Dugs' home planet.
Yes, that's right.
And the Dugs decided not to tell these people that the Zillo beast dug into the Dugs' home planet. So now they have to dig back in and get the thing out to save the Dugs.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Seuss. All right. So what we're
Twiddle weedle puddle battle butter foodle eating poodle noodles.
What we're trying to say is all right. So look, I was a little confused by the Dug. These are the species, right? So this this treaty has to be signed by the Dugs. There's the leader of the Dugs, right? So apparently
his name is like
he's very inconsistent, because what he told us from the beginning was that this Zillo beast should have been extinct, right? And then he says later on that, well, the ancestors warned them that this Zillo beast could come back. oh, well, which one is it? Is it extinct or is it still there?
Mhm.
All right. So now this Zilla beast apparently is
contradictive.
Right. It wiped out a lot of people back in the day. It destroyed lives. So this Zilla beast, apparently went, in their hole where they were located and stayed there and didn't bother anybody until this bomb was dropped on the surface and it cracked open, and all of a sudden
completely upset at this beast.
Right. So now the Dugs want this beast destroyed because they
want to get rid of it.
Yes, right. Because this beast destroyed their people for so many years. The Jedi and the Republic don't want it destroyed because it's
really Mace Windu doesn't. He just forced everyone to go.
Yeah. All right. Let's throw out Mace Windu's name. So Mace doesn't want this beast destroyed, right? Because it's the last of its kind. So he doesn't feel it's a good idea to destroy something. When
did he feel emotion for anyone?
Well, he did for this beast, all right?
But for his counterparts into Anakin Skywalker, he just criticizes it. But when this beast they don't know comes out from 6 feet under and just attacks an entire town, he's like, we should save it. Meanwhile, when he works alongside good people like Dooku and Anakin, just kind of annoys the heck out of them.
Yeah. Mace is a very complicated person. All right. We can't spend the whole day talking about
And Windu. That complication ended when he got launched out a window by Palpatine.
Oh, very good. Okay. Well, thank you for how it ended for him. All right. That's how it ended.
It's been that way for the past 2 decades.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, okay. So Mace wants to keep this beast alive. The Dugs want it destroyed. So there's this battle between a battle between what they want to do with this beast. So they come to a compromise. Well, pretty much, the Dugs are on the impression that the beast is dead, but it's not. So Anakin's idea is to put it to sleep and make it look like it's been destroyed, so that they can take the beast,
knock it out, look dead, have it play dead,
right?
And then they can just kind of carry it up and take it to a safe place.
Right, and take it to a safe place, which that's what happens. They knock the beast out.
Using energy lasers kind of makes it tired.
Yeah, and carry the beast to a safe place, which is Coruscant. Oh, of course.
Why not? Because Palpatine decided to switch the plans.
Yeah. Why not send it to Coruscant, where it's populated with,
a bunch of people? It's like one of the hubs of the galaxy. Yeah, let's send it there.
So that was episode 18. So the treaty between the Dugs and the Republic, they're signed. Palpatine gets his oil he needs for his fleet. That's fine. So that's episode 18. Now, episode 19 is called The Zilla Beast Strikes Back.
Yes.
And guess what happens? So they're trying to...
It strikes back. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. They try to examine this beast. First of all, let me explain why this beast is so important. The skin on this beast is impenetrable, right?
It has heavily armored scales that allow it to not be penetrated by even a lightsaber.
Yes.
Let alone blaster bolts.
Right. So Palpatine has the idea, well, if you have this skin is that strong, he can use this skin to protect his ships, build his ships out of this skin, or take the skin and create armor that will protect stormtroopers, his stormtroopers that are coming up, or the clone troopers it's not the clone troopers, it's for the stormtroopers. We'll talk about that. Right. So he has a use for this skin, to put it together and use it as protection for his army. So it goes back to Coruscant. They're examining the beast. The beast is released. It's out in the open, just like Godzilla. It is creating havoc in the towns. Again, they put it to sleep. However, they don't want to kill it because at the very end of episode 19, Palpatine says, well, why don't we clone it? And there we go.
And that's why we have this little beast here.
That's right. And now that brings us back to present day as to why this beast.
Set up and pay off.
Right. So this is not the original beast. This is a clone. Okay.
So this is a smaller version of the Zillo beast.
Right.
And this thing can actually, believe it or not, feed off of energy.
Yes.
So it eats energy for breakfast, which sounds like a brag, but it actually does.
It's true. All right. So present day, this episode of the Bad Batch, they're on the planet Tantus, right? So this is the new location for the Kaminoan facility, right? It takes the place of the Camino facility on Camino to Poker City. So there's this new character named Dr. Hemlock.
Yes.
Very, very creepy.
Okay? Diabolical, maniacal, crazy Hemlock.
Right. So
he looks like he'd put you in a headlock.
Right. So Menace is their prisoner. Right. Menace wants nothing to do with whatever the Emperor wants to do.
She's not buying whatever he's selling.
Exactly. Right. So we learn a little bit more as to Palpatine's motivation. It has something to do. It all comes back to Omega. All right.
Yeah.
This is personal, as Hemlock is describing, why he needs Menace to help him. He says that, her work on Camino, what Menace did on Camino will not go unnoticed. It will serve the Emperor's purpose.
And he said it was not destroyed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. So, and then Menace responds, I know what the Emperor Palpatine wants to accomplish, but he will not have my cooperation. So to me, this all comes down to Omega. We said from the very beginning, from day one, Keith.
Now let's say because go down fighting.
Right. Well, what did we say about Omega? That she's
force sensitive.
Force sensitive, right. So I think what they're doing here is trying to tie a couple of things, because there's a thread that's running through, the Clone Wars to the Bad Batch, to the Mandalorian, to the Rise of Skywalker. Because if you think about it, there's also a scene in the Mandalorian where Moff Gideon is trying to get the Grogu's blood so that he can. We don't know exactly what he wants to use it for, but we can assume that he wants to clone Grogu's blood and maybe create an army of force-sensitive, super army of force-sensitive soldiers. Yeah, clones, right? And then that also leads us into the Force, the Rise of Skywalker, where Palpatine returns. More than likely, this was a clone of Palpatine.
Let me get this straight. They destroyed the cloning facility, but it was only after that these people decided, you know what? It's a good idea to start cloning.
Right. So
isn't that funny?
It is interesting because the clones that they created originally were the clone army, which they wants no part of right now.
But they're like,
anymore.
Let's clone everything else.
Let's clone. Yes, let's use cloning to our advantage. Which is why the Empire took the secret. This is what?
This.
Right. He took all the secrets of the cloning materials, and they made sure that before they destroyed the Poker City, they took that information
now let's say it's research.
Right, and her research and took all that cloning information and is using it to their advantage, pretty much. Right. Now, let's talk about the Bad Batch, right? This is a Bad Batch episode. We haven't talked about the Bad Batch yet.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So the Batch is still working for Sid. All right.
I am floored.
Yeah. And it's a wonder to me because in the last episode,
I'm surprised the Bad Batch haven't gone back to Ord Mantell and chewed Sid out by now.
Yeah. Remember when they got their ship stolen?
And Sid's like, listen, Goggles, don't pull that on me, dark and broody.
Right.
You're gonna have to stay there. I got my hands tied. And she sent them on a deadly mission and wasn't really willing to give them some backup.
Right.
Just, kind of wanted to leave them there with her paycheck.
Yeah, Sid didn't help them at all. All right. But yet they're back. So it does have to do with fear. Okay. And we talked about this, why the Batch keeps going back. Because they do fear what would happen if they decide not to work for Sid. Because Tech said severing ties with Sid could be problematic considering what she knows about us. Perhaps we choose a diplomatic solution and complete this one last mission for her. It's always this one last mission because
Don't they always say that?
They do. And the reason why they say it is because they pretty much 90% of the time fail the missions that Sid sends them on, so they're not making any money. Every time they fail a mission, there's no money to be made. All right, so they're hoping that this is going to be the mission that's going to make them enough money,
make them rich, and then they can die to dash.
They can leave, right? Leave Sid behind, and then just go live wherever they want to go, whatever. So the mission is that Sid has intelligence of this ship, the same ship that we talked about that was on fire, that was crash landing. She's aware that the ship has crash landed, and this Imperial ship may have valuables on it. Now, right, you said that somehow. That's a very good point.
This ship crashed at the very beginning of the episode.
Right. How does Sid know this information so quickly?
I doubt much time had passed. So Maybe she has some sort of inside informant.
She definitely has. She must have someone who works inside the Empire.
That had to be an Imperial ship. So
yes,
maybe she has an Imperial informant who, when the ship crashed, because the Imperials would be the first to know that when the ship crashed, she was told immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how she has the intel. But also, doesn't Sid have other people working for her?
Yeah,
or
who knows?
Just the batch. Like, couldn't she call in some favors?
That's a very good point.
Fee
right?
knows a lot of people. She'd be like, "Hey, Fee, listen, I need your help here. I need you to help me call in a couple of favors and get a bunch of ragtag teams, like kind of like Darth Vader's band of bounty hunters in The Empire Strikes Back. Just kind of get a band of people to go after this cargo,
right?
Because she says the Bad Batch on every mission and pays them 30%.
That's true, right? And you're right. So maybe that's all she has working for her is the batch, right? Because a good point with Vader, he send out a message to all the bounty hunters. So it's really, every bounty hunter for themselves to find the Millennium Falcon, right? So he didn't just choose one bounty hunter. All right, let's go to Q&A. We have Q&A.
Q&A.
All right. So we're going to Q&A. Okay.
I'm not sure if it's an ampersand or the actual word.
All right. So then when we go to Q&A, let's do that. All right, Alex.
Not sure.
Hello, Alex.
Hello. Not sure about a specific connection, but parts of it were like a horror film.
Yes, it did feel like a horror.
It gave me a lot of Godzilla and Alien
King
vibes.
Kong. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, all the time. Lisa. All right. I think Nala says Omega's mother. She has this motherly
she kind of seems like she's protecting
affection.
Her child.
Yeah.
Maybe Omega's kind of like Nala Say's adoptive child.
I think Nala Say is fully aware as to,
Omega's potential.
Yes, her potential. Why was she created in the first place? How she was created? I think Nala Say has all that information, which is why I think you talked about before we got on, the podcast. You talked about why is Nala Say. You're surprised that Nala Say is still alive. Like they haven't taken her out. She's
and
very
Lama
valuable.
Sue as well.
And Lama.
I'm surprised he didn't kick the bucket at the end of the season.
I was surprised to see him too. Like I'm wondering. Well, we'll talk about Lama Sue. Okay. Well, anyway. So I think Nala Say knows a lot about Omega, why she was created, why.
Any other comments?
Yes, her purpose. All right. So let's. All right, so the mission is for the batch to go to the ship and to look for treasure, and then of course what they find is the beast. Mm-hmm. Dr. Hemlock is notified that the transport that had the asset has been destroyed, so Hemlock sends out another transport ship to go find the beast. So of course the Empire is there along with the batch. The Empire gets there first and grabs
the batch got there first.
Well, the batch got there first, but
the kind of swoops in and like steals their claim.
Exactly right. So the Empire grabs this little beast, takes it off.
The batch kind of has to escape because otherwise they're going to get captured like Hunter did. The funny thing is Hunter got captured last season in episode 11, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this season he evades nearly being captured.
Right, exactly. So that is the history of the Zillo Beast, why it's being used, why the Empire finds them of value. And imagine this is a clone. How many other clones of the Beast could they have?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. They might have like a library of different assets and DNA parts that they can pick and choose.
Who knows?
You can get armored scales, lightsaber fingers. I don't know.
Yeah, you never know. Right. And one other thing I wanted to talk
fire breath.
If we finish up the episode, okay, so we got the Empire has the Zillo Beast. One thing I didn't understand, the villagers on the planet where the beast was actually, got loose and roamed their village, the Empire picked up these villagers and took them and put them in custody. But why? I mean, well, what are you going to do with these
basically
people?
Why? Because I'm like, well, are you looking for workers? Hire people.
You think it's slave labor that these?
I honestly don't know why they're just like randomly capturing people. They're like, oh, hey, a new planet. Let's get them.
Right. Yeah. I couldn't quite understand why the Empire were arresting these innocent people.
I'm having trouble comprehending their decisions.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't understand that. So
I had to know it's not just me.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So now getting back to Omega. Hemlock, creepy guy. Okay. All right. So he's not
Spooky,
getting
scary skeletons.
he's not getting the cooperation he's looking for Nala Say. So of course he goes to her boss, Lama Su. And Lama Su.
Remember Lama Su Nala Say and telling Reed from
Yeah.
last season? Oh God, the tongue twisters.
Yeah, Lama Su arrives on Tantus, and Hemlock says, "Well, maybe you could talk some sense into Nala Say." And so Lama Su says, "You know what? He has some information that may help about this young girl that Nala Say loves so much. So I think that's going to be
So Lama Su,
the downfall.
I think he knows something that the rest of us don't, and that even Nala Say does.
He knows how much of a personal connection that Lama Su has to Omega.
You mean Nala Say?
I'm sorry.
We get these people mixed up already.
Yeah. Nala Say has a personal connection with Omega. So he knows that. So he's going to use that to his advantage, right? And they're going to do whatever they can to find this little girl and bring her back, all right, and use her for whatever purpose. So we don't know. That's it. But I did have another question. I thought this was interesting, and maybe if you're on the chat, or if you're listening to this episode a little bit later, you can tell me what you think.
All right.
But do you remember a few episodes back, when the Emperor appeared on the Senate floor?
Yes.
Okay. Omega was also on the Senate floor.
But she was hiding.
Yeah, but my question was going to be, did the Emperor not sense Omega on the Senate floor?
Was he even looking for it at the time, though?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe that's...
More importantly, I feel like Palpatine really made a very short appearance, and the only time he was focused on the raucousness of the Senate floor and capturing Rampart and just trying to bring all this to an order. Because even though he had a calculated plan, he had to settle the Senate first. So I feel like he was more focused on everything else going on than to find Omega hidden in the corner.
He wanted to get that military bill passed, right? That was his priority. He wasn't really focused. He
had his priorities lined up.
He wasn't really focused on Omega. Okay.
All right. Q&A.
Alden. Aiden. I keep saying Alden. Thank you, Aiden. Maybe,
hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Maybe I'll meet you guys Sunday. Nice. I love episode 12. You guys are so cool. I want this to be the longest episode ever.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that.
Who's your favorite Bad Batch member and why?
Yeah. All right. You want to go first?
You go first. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, it's Hunter for me. I've talked about this before. I just with Hunter, I get his connection. It's the father figure in me, I guess. This theme is ongoing. It's in the Mandalorian. It's in the Bad Batch. That these men are, reluctant father figures all of a sudden, and they don't know what to do.
Pedro Pascal is like everyone's father now.
Yeah, right. So Hunter. He is really going all out to save Omega, and in the first season, especially because she was new and she's just so young, that his livelihood now. It's not about, there's no war to fight. He needs to survive, but he also has to make sure that this child survives with him. So his thoughts are always about saving her, and he's done a lot to really risk his life to keep her safe. So I would say Hunter is my favorite batch. Yes.
I gotta go with Tech and Wrecker. Can't really decide between the two. I've been grappling with that for a while, but I gotta pick both of them. Because Wrecker, I feel like I would always be the fun uncle because I love fun way too much. And Tech kind of reminds me of the numbers guy. Just kind of crunching numbers, doing a lot of math, coding and whatnot, because I do coding.
Yeah, well, I can see that. Yeah, right. So I can see why you can't choose between the two because, the fun uncle, he's pretty cool. He's laid back. You can talk to him maybe. Tech, he's not a talker.
Oh, God.
Tech's
social skills.
But he's working on it. So, we understand that he processed things differently than other people. But,
like Tech, I feel like Tech just has so bad social skills.
And, well, that's true. He does.
Yeah.
He does, yeah. Yeah. So thank you for that question, Aiden. Yes. So,
Anyone else?
yeah. So, yeah. Just to wrap up my thought about the Emperor and Omega, but I guess you have a good point, Keith. So maybe he just wasn't focused. He wasn't expecting to see Omega, but she was just so close. Like if Omega is who you wanted from the very beginning, she's right there. She's on the Senate floor.
Mhm. All right.
Alex Wrecker is awesome. I like him for the same reason. He's a fun uncle figure, and I like how he and Omega have a fun friendship. Absolutely
Yeah.
true. Absolutely
So
true.
true.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
eating man's helmets together
Yeah.
and racking it up on Sid's tab.
Yeah.
Good times.
That's right.
Remember when that's what they used to do? Just kind of hang around the cantina.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now they're always out in space.
Yeah. Well, there's always something to do. So,
Sid's
all right.
always got them on some deadly mission, like death-defying.
Yeah. So now, if you think about it, so the batch has another failed mission. They didn't get any cargo or any valuable from the ship, right? Because when the Empire arrived, they actually destroyed that transport, right?
Yeah,
so
they left no evidence.
They left no evidence, right? So
Except,
once again,
smoking hole and flame.
You know what this tells me, and I don't understand why. Maybe the
Empire's
batch
covering their tracks
is taking the batch so long to understand this. If you're not doing your job well, this job that you think you need to, support yourself, and you're not doing it well, why continue to do this job? Why
and Sid doesn't care about you at all. So why do they still
It's not working out for you, so why are you there? You keep thinking, okay, well, this is going to be the one. It's going to be the last one. This is going to be one that's going to make us all this money. This is going to be the one, and it doesn't happen. So
I mean, these people could deliver Rancors, but when it comes to getting a crate out of a container, it's like, we can't do that. Sorry.
Yeah. It just seems like the simple task.
They delivered a live Rancor.
Yeah. But
how are they not getting crates?
But think about this, Keith. Most of the missions that they're on for Sid don't go well. The only mission that Rex, remember where Rex asked them to go and to get the data recorder from Rampart's ship so that they could bring it to the Senate? They were successful at it.
Yeah.
Doesn't that make sense?
They're better at doing Republic stuff.
Yeah. So
working with Rex, which I think they might end up there at the end of the season too, just to see the entire crew come back together, Crosshair and Echo as well, and join Rex.
What a coincidence. So the thing that Hunter doesn't want to do, he does it very well. And the thing that he's doing now currently, they're bad at it. I just thought that was very interesting.
Suck at treasure hunting.
Yeah, they don't like Sid.
And even their mission with
that is why they're unsuccessful.
That episode of the fourth mission, that mission of the fourth episode with Fee, that didn't go too well either. I mean, they bonded along the way.
Yeah.
And it was a fun puzzle, but they went through all that for nothing.
That's right.
But it wasn't their fault. It's because when they pulled the crystal out, it became a live Godzilla-like monster and burned the entire planet.
Yeah.
It was already burned, mind you.
It's just telling that the only mission that they've been on with Captain Rex is a successful mission.
And Bracken from last season,
right? Yeah,
they successfully removed all their chips.
That's true, right? So, come on, Clone
Hunter's
Force.
got to do it
at
some point.
Come on, you got to do something.
He's just got to kind of.
You're wasting your time with Sid. It's time to go. Sid is no good. She's not to be trusted. No. Apparently, she knows people.
Remember when Nalegi told them that?
Yes.
That Sid is not to be trusted.
Not to be trusted. Watch your back.
Doesn't always go both ways.
Watch your back. All right. So we'll see what happens next week. Okay. And anything else you want to talk about for this episode?
No, actually.
All right. Okay. All right. Do we have any other Q&A? I think that is it then. So I'm glad we got this one through. So it's a very great time to be a Star Wars fan, isn't it? I mean, we got the Mandalorian.
So much juicy content.
Yeah, we got the Mandalorian on Wednesdays. We got the Bad Batch on Thursdays. Like, what are we gonna do? Where are we finding the time to do all this? But we enjoy this so much, just talking about Star Wars and just going on a live stream and talking to people who can join or leave your comments afterwards. We're cool with that. But again, thank you so much for supporting us. If you're a subscriber or if you follow us on the socials, just thank you. That encouragement helps us to keep going. So we love that. So thank you again.
Liking and subscribing. Yes. It just really helps us, actually.
Absolutely.
Because I'll level with you. YouTube content creating is hard. Yes. It's harder than E=MC², I think. Like, every subscriber and person who likes to this channel just helps us get forward. It helps us get by on YouTube.
Exactly. It's
get
just
past the algorithm. So thank you guys for subscribing.
Yeah, it's just so much content on YouTube. So the more subscribers
Easy to
we
get
have,
drowned out.
the more eyes we have on our content, and the more people see it, and the better we get. And
hopefully, the more people we can reach with our podcast.
Exactly. All right. So final Q&A. Send in your questions, all right, or comments. Yes, so true. Yes, Lisa. Thank you so much for joining us on this Sunday evening. You could be doing anything else, but thank you, Alex.
I agree. It's a nice time to be a Star Wars fan.
Absolutely.
Always great talking with you both.
All right. We appreciate it, Alex, talking to you as well. All right. So thank you so much, everyone. So great. Where can people find us, Keith?
Well, you can find us wherever you like to listen to your podcast. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at father.son.galaxy. Our website is father.son.galaxy.com. Our merch store is father.son.galaxy.myspreadshop.com. And check out our Spreaker page as well.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, everyone.
Why are you laughing?
I'm sorry.
Why are you laughing?
Just... Okay. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. So we'll be back on Wednesday for episode 2 of The Mandalorian. Oh, boy. How about that? All right.
Oh, yes.
We will be here. Okay. We will discuss. All right. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us. And until next time, take care. And we will see you again.